Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Bruce the Boss Brooks coming at you again, still at my parents' place here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And I just wanted to speak today on a very hot and emotional topic going on right now in the world, and that is the Jacob Blake shooting incident that happened in Wisconsin a few days ago. First thing, I just want to say my prayers go out to Jacob Blake for as much of a speedy recovery as possible. I understand reports are coming out now that he appears to be paralyzed. So I just wish, despite everything that led up to it and his past, I just wish him the best and speedy recovery through all of this. And my prayers also go out to his kids who witnessed it all go down. I'm pretty sure that the whole incident is going to be traumatic to them and something that they'll have to live with for many years. Hopefully they are able to get the help they need, however, to deal with it and manage it throughout their life. So some of my thoughts on the whole Jacob Blake situation, and this is one of my fears, and that is that these radical and in some cases Marxist and fascist movements such as Antifa and Black Lives Matter, as well as the Democratic Party, which is jumping on board this train, and the media is going to use this event to stoke racial division and further polarize this nation. We're already seeing across the country, and more specifically, a lot of videos are surfacing from Washington, D.C. of these Black Lives Matter bullies literally trying to bully all of these innocent bystanders into raising their fists and claiming if you do not raise your fist in support of our group, you're somehow a white supremacist, or how in Portland they're asking you to give up your property because of perceived gentrification. You better give up your home because this used to belong to the Black community before, even though those individuals had nothing to do with any gentrification of the people. We're seeing the destruction of these cities occur right in front of our eyes, destruction of businesses and people getting attacked. And it's almost as though it's once things died down with George Floyd, tempers started to flare. Now they're using this new event to reignite the fires, reignite the flame, and possibly stoke it so that people do go out to riot and loot, as well as peacefully protest, but use that as a vehicle to further the spread of the coronavirus. Because again, it was all about, you can't be involved in large masses. That will further the spread. And what happened after the initial protesting, rioting, and looting of George Floyd? Literally 2 weeks after that, George Floyd's death was televised and the video was leaked. 2 weeks after that, and the protest started, was when all of these supposed spikes of the coronavirus occurred across the country. Of course, they tried to narrow it down to the states that reopened earlier than others, such as Florida, Georgia, and Texas, but that doesn't explain the spikes that also occurred in California and across the rest of the country. But they could be using this as a vehicle to further spread the coronavirus to justify another lockdown in the fall. That's one of my concerns. But again, also from a political perspective, use this to galvanize their base, divide people, and blame this on the Republicans and the Trump administration. And as many gripes as you can have against, the Trump administration and or your local leadership, it's not their fault. It's not their problem. And what's worse is that the situation with Jacob Blake could have been avoided. And that's really the message I want to get out here, is that there seems to be a message from the left and or these terrorist movements such as Black Lives Matters and Antifa, is that chaos reigns. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to obey the law. You don't have to obey lawful instructions by an officer. You have the right to resist if you want, and the cops shouldn't do anything about it. They should just let you go. And that's what I heard with the Rayshard Brooks situation that happened here in Atlanta a couple months ago. And that was, okay, he wrestled, he was running away, let him get away. Like, what kind of sense does that make? What kind of order in the society would that lead? Or what kind of disorder would that lead to? all I see is this encouragement to disobey the law and to not obey lawful instructions. And what happens? You have a violent confrontation each and every time. 99.9% of these violent confrontations with police that we see could have been avoided if the individuals just, well, for one thing, don't break the law. Like in Rayshard Brooks' case, don't drink and drive. And if you are accosted by a cop, listen and follow all of their instructions. If you do so, you will be safe. You have, again, a 99% chance of walking away from that situation unharmed. And even if you feel as though they roughed you up a little bit, but you didn't fight back, you'll live. I mean, just look at Tupac, one of the most revolutionary minded brothers we've had in the 20th century. And he was roughed up by the police for jaywalking. He took the beating. He didn't fight back, but he would, at that time, but he later had his day in court to sue them for police brutality. That's what you do. You comply to their orders, make them feel safe, because for all they know, you can be reaching for a gun or a knife, a weapon that can harm and or unfortunately kill them. So they have to be mindful of that. They have that going on in the back of their mind. So you have to also be mindful of that and make sure you are following their instructions to the T. All right. And that you are making them not feel threatened at all. And you will walk away fine. And if you don't, and it's recorded, you do have a justifiable reason to fight that in court later, but do not fight them. If you just don't break the law, comply to their orders and their commands, and don't make them feel threatened. And if they are arresting you, even if you don't feel as though it's justified, but most of these are, don't resist arrest. And he was breaking all of those rules. Regardless of the reason why they were accosting him, was he breaking up a fight between two women? He didn't feel as though they should be coming at them, even though there was a warrant out for his arrest, apparently for sexual assault or misconduct. Whether or not that was why, they knew about that, we don't know. Or did they feel that he was involved? Don't know what led up to this struggle just yet. Gonna wait for all those facts. But bottom line is, when the video started recording, and apparently there were two recordings going on. One that occurred before he's turned around. We see them wrestling on the ground and them trying to tase him. When that happened, you just go with it. He didn't. He fought them, went back to his car. As they're yelling at him, now they have the guns drawn. Don't move, don't move. And he continues to then ignore them. Go reach into his car. And that's when the shots rang out, because, again, they don't know whether or not if he's going to shoot back. Because a situation happened like that in my former home state of Pennsylvania on the PA Turnpike. State troopers pulled over a 21-year-old, I believe, and I'll put the link out in the description box here. But they tried to pull over a 22-year-old or 21-year-old for DUI and speeding, and they wrestled. They tried their best to tase him and keep it non-lethal. There was no kicks, no punches thrown. Just wrestled, tased, tried to subdue him to try to cuff him. That didn't work. He gets away into his car. He doesn't get in his car to drive away. Rather, he reaches in his car, grabs a gun that was readily available, and fires at the officers. And I believe he hit both officers and then sped away. So that's the reality that these cops are dealing with. And so I understand if they felt threatened. I do not agree 7 shots was right. I can see justifiable 2 shots, but I think he was excessive. Bang, 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 bang. 7 shots, a little bit too much. But again, Jacob Blake created the situation, and now they're using this as a vehicle to destroy and divide the country. And we really can't allow that. And one of the things, it may backfire, because as they're destroying the country, and we're seeing that these individuals that the left seems to be propping up as martyrs for the cause are all individuals that created the violent situation. They were disobeying the law. His past crimes really have no bearing on what happened there, unless if that was the reason why they were cussing him. If they found out at some point during the conversation, they ran his plates and said, oh, there's a warrant out, we need to arrest you, whatever. The situation at hand, he was still doing everything wrong. And they're using these flawed individuals as martyrs. And I think a lot of the country is waking up to it. and seeing through it. So we just need to continue to fight back, not give in to the hate, wait for all of the facts, give our prayers and thoughts out to people on both sides, to the officers involved, who I'm sure they didn't wake up saying, I want to go shoot somebody, but also to Jacob Blake's family and his kids, making sure they're all right. We can't allow them to divide us. We have to have dialogue, meaningful conversation, but also not allow this country to descend into chaos and destruction and racial division. So that was just my 2 cents on the matter. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you like, please hit the like button, share, and or please subscribe as I try to get these videos out. I would love to have my channel continue to grow. So thank you all for your time and listen to my thoughts. Just want to let you all know that you're not alone. If you are not liking the direction that this country is heading towards, and more specifically, certain people on the left or far left that have the bully pulpit where they seem to be taking this country, you're not alone. And we can continue to make sure that the other voice is heard and will no longer be the silent majority. So this is Bruce the Boss reporting from Atlanta, Georgia for the time being. I'll be back in Texas tomorrow. So peace.